Hi guys, welcome to another rating by difficulty video. And the reason why I decided to film that today is because in the last video I might have mentioned that I'm gonna do every 500 piece puzzle in my collection. Now there's not that many, don't get me wrong. There's only 7, I think. Well, 7 plus the 4 from last year's competition. So not a lot, you know, but based on the fact that I normally do like 20-ish puzzle when I do rating by difficulty, because otherwise it becomes a bit too much and it seems so long away when I did the puzzles as well that I start to forget specifics of the puzzle, so it's not good to wait too long. So I decided to do these ones today, and then I'm gonna do the others in the other rating by difficulty video that is probably gonna follow the competition, because if I do well at the competition, there should be quite a lot of puzzles that I'm gonna be going through. So I think you already know the procedure for this video. So we've got 3 categories: easy, medium and hard. So I think it's time to start with the easy pile. The first easy puzzle is a 216 piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is Medieval House. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I've done this puzzle recently and I struggled with it quite a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It was really difficult to follow picture-wise, so when I was doing the list of where to put it on the difficulty level, I would technically have to put it in the difficult pile, but the reason I decided to put it on an easy pile is simply because if you actually follow the puzzle the way it's supposed to be done, it's the easiest puzzle on the planet, like honestly, because it does have numbers on the back. So you just basically go by numbers. And the only reason it was difficult for me is because I wanted to go by picture, and it's not really made to be done by picture. That's why it ended up on the easy pile. The next puzzle on the list is a 1000 piece puzzle by Remarks, and the title of this one is 1950s. So this puzzle is not with me anymore, but this was the easiest 1000 piece puzzle I've ever done. And still to this day, I think it holds my 1000 piece puzzle record with 2 hours and 33 minutes. Everything about this puzzle was amazing. Like, I loved the image, the cut was really good, there were no misfits, the quality of the puzzle overall was just amazing. So definitely in love with that puzzle, and I would totally do it again. The next one is a 500 piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is London Postcard. So if you've seen my last video, then you probably remember this puzzle, or if you watched the competition last year, then you know the puzzle as well. So this puzzle officially broke my 500 piece puzzle record, and it now stands at 50 minutes and 21 seconds. So, how exciting is that? I finally did a puzzle under an hour, and there were times, you know, months and months ago when I don't know why, but I just said like, I want to consistently be under 1 hour mark when I go to the competition. And this is literally the first puzzle I did under 1 hour. So far. Let's just say it didn't go as planned, but anyway, very enjoyable puzzle, and it's Ravensburger, so you know that the quality is good. The next one is a 500 piece puzzle by Trefl, and the title of this one is Harry Potter. This is the puzzle that is also not with me anymore, but this puzzle was the first one that broke my record. Like, it was really good, 1 hour and 5 minutes. So I really enjoyed the puzzle. It was really clear where pieces go, or like the picture where it goes together. No misfits, and yeah, overall just really enjoyable puzzle to assemble. Up next is a 500 piece puzzle by Educa, and the title of this one is Train Station. So this puzzle took me a little bit longer to finish, so it took me 1 hour and 26 minutes, but I did really enjoy it because there was like so many little details in the puzzle, and the cut was good as well, even though I think it was mostly like ribbon grit cut pieces, but they were so uniquely shaped that it was still quite easy to know what fits together. The next puzzle on the list is the 500 piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is My Loyal Friends. Also a puzzle from yesterday's video, and one thing that surprised me when doing this list for, you know, rating by difficulty video is this puzzle actually had better time than both of the puzzles before. I literally had to ignore the times because I saw that I finished this puzzle quicker, and I was like, oh, it has to be easier then, and I was like, no, it actually wasn't, not for me anyway. And I think what made this puzzle easier was the fact that it's got really good cut, not the actual picture. And this is the first puzzle I did in a day. I was really rested. it was in the morning, I had the sun out, so all of those things influence how quick you are. So that's why I didn't go by the time. The next one is a 500-piece puzzle by Clementoni, and the title of this one is Tropical Dolphins. So for this puzzle, I was really looking forward to doing it, and then it was more difficult than I expected it to be. Still easy, obviously, but it's just, first of all, I did it the last puzzle in a day, so it was the third puzzle in a day. I did it like midnight. I literally had no daylight. It was all just, you know, non-natural light, and obviously I was tired as well. So all of that influenced my puzzling, but at the end of the day I still really enjoyed it. The one thing that made this puzzle a little bit more difficult is basically that there was like a lot of colors, and all of the colors were all across the puzzle. So then it's really difficult, like even if you do the sorting, the same color goes on so many different places that it just becomes a little bit confusing, you know, what goes where. So that's the reason why it is a bit further down the list. The next one is a 500-piece puzzle by Schmidt, and the title of this one is On the Beach. I have to say, honestly, when I got this puzzle, I somehow hated it because it just looked really difficult, but I actually really enjoyed it because even though there's not much going on, like it's basically just 3 colors, it was really enjoyable. Like the gradient in the sky, then we had the gradient in the sand, and even the prints in the sand were different. They were larger on this side than on that side. So it's like everything really helped, and you could see a lot of texture as well. So yeah, it was quite an enjoyable puzzle. The last puzzle on the easy pile is a 1000-piece puzzle by BePuzzled, and the title of this one is the Orient Express. So that puzzle was so much fun. It literally does not come with a picture, so the entire assembly was a complete mystery to me, and I still managed to finish it in 3 hours and 7 minutes. One thing that made this puzzle really simple is basically, even though there wasn't that much color, it was texture oriented, so it was really easy to know what goes together, what fits together. And that's also the reason why, even without the picture, I managed to finish it so quickly. And now moving on to the medium pile. So the first puzzle in this category is a 500-piece puzzle by Educa, and the title of this one is Viva la Vida. So this puzzle was interesting, and I remember I did it at the gym, so there was a lot of interruptions. The table was so low that if you thought that my back hurts when I'm doing puzzling on the bed, that was painful. Like, honestly, that table was so low and I just couldn't reach over. And obviously it's portrait as well, which always makes the puzzle a bit more difficult for me. I don't know why. It's probably because it's like further to reach, and I have prescription as well, which means that when I'm puzzling I don't have my glasses on, so it's a bit difficult to see like what's further from me, and I just like to have like puzzle near to me. So that's probably why I prefer the landscape puzzles. So immediately when something's portrait, I'm like, yeah, you're more difficult. The second puzzle on the list is a 500-piece puzzle by Clementoni, and the title of this one is Grand Teton in Fall. So this puzzle is not actually that difficult. The way I assembled it was definitely more difficult than it had to be, because after I did the forest bit at the bottom, I went to the mountains, and I should really go up to the sky first because sky was actually really easy. But the fit was really good. That's what made the puzzle a lot easier. But still, because there's not that much color difference or like specific sections of colors, that's why it ended up on the medium pile. Up next is the 500-piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is Schwerin Castle. Yeah, I remember that puzzle exactly. It was a complete and utter nightmare. So when I was putting it together, there was it was a lot of green, just a lot of green. But at the end of the day, it's a 500-piece puzzle, so it cannot be that difficult regardless. So no, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I still haven't done the crypt puzzle, so yeah. I'm not gonna say anything anymore, but yeah, it drove me insane. I remember it. There was just green, 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 green. Now there was a little bit of sky and the castle, but mostly just green. The next puzzle on the list is a 500-piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is The Enchanted Wood. I don't think I need to say much when it comes to this puzzle. I think it's self-explanatory. So it's just green, green, green. If it wasn't for the tree trunks, this might have ended up way further down on the list than it actually is, because this saved me a lot, because obviously there was less green pieces left, so it was easier to do the rest of the puzzle. But yeah, one missing piece as well, which never helps, because sometimes you just get stuck looking for the piece and then at the end you realize that the piece is just not there. Up next is a 500-piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is Tiger in Winter. So that's actually one of the puzzles that I've already done before. So I would somehow expect that it would be easier because of that, but it really wasn't, because when I did it first time, it was in primary school. So many years ago. But it was still really enjoyable because obviously it's Ravensburger, so you know that you're not gonna get misfits and stuff. But it was just the colors, it was such lack of colors that it was really difficult to, you know, rate it any higher. It just, the sky and the snow, it all got mixed up together, and then just fur. There was so much fur. It's just, why do they do furry puzzles? Like, fur is difficult. I mean, sometimes it does help when you've got whiskers and stuff and it's quite easy to know where something goes, or if you actually see the lines and you know then in which direction the pieces stand. But still, I would prefer if there was just no fur. Up next is a 1000-piece puzzle by Piatnik, and the title of this one is Classic Italians. So I've done this puzzle recently and I've done it as a challenge. So I cannot really, you know, specifically judge how difficult this puzzle is, because I think it was slightly more difficult for me because I was doing it picture by picture. So I didn't move on until I found all the pieces. So that was quite, you know, a difficult part. But it was still a really quick assembly. It took me 2 hours and 51 minutes, and it was really enjoyable as well. It was my first time doing Piatnik puzzle, but the fit was really good. I think I only had like one misfit throughout the entire puzzle that threw me off a little bit, but it still wasn't enough for me to rate this puzzle as a hard puzzle, so that's why it ended up on the medium pile. The next puzzle on the list is a 1000-piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is Yellow Taxi. I was really looking forward to doing that puzzle because it was the second puzzle from the gloss collection that I had, and I really enjoyed the first one, so I was like, oh, I want the second one as well. And it wasn't as easy as I expected it to be. Obviously, it's on the end of the medium pile, but at the end of the day, still Ravensburger, which means it was a good fit, so I didn't have problems with that. But it was definitely texture oriented, which obviously makes it a little bit more difficult because it's not color oriented, so it's not that obvious to know what goes together, but still a really enjoyable puzzle. And the last puzzle on the medium pile is a 1000-piece puzzle by Prime 3D, and the title of this one is Thug for Life Bunny. So this puzzle, if you asked me before I put it together, I would definitely say it's one of the hardest puzzles of my collection. And that's also the reason why I had it for so long and didn't want to touch it, because it just looked so difficult to me. But then when I started to put it together, it was so easy. It's like there is a slight gradient throughout all of the wall sections, so it was really easy to know what fits together. And yeah, it was just overall a really enjoyable puzzle. Obviously still more difficult because it's quite dark and it doesn't have a lot of color, but still not difficult enough to make it to the hard pile. Moving on to the hard pile, and the first puzzle I'm gonna start with is a 1000-piece puzzle by Jumbo, and the title of this one is Wojcik the Toy Shop. So this is honestly one of the favorite puzzles I've done, but it still doesn't change the fact that it was quite difficult to assemble because the picture that I had literally nothing to do with the puzzle that I assembled. I know that they give you clues that you can use, but I completely forgot when I was doing the puzzle and I was just literally going from what I could see. The quality of Jumbo puzzles is really good, and obviously the colors were really specific as well. What made it really difficult for me with this specific puzzle was basically that I had like pieces assembled, but I genuinely didn't know where to place them. And there was just like one point when I had so many different people like assembled throughout the puzzle, and they were just like all crumbled in the middle, and I had no idea where they actually have to go. So then when I assembled more of the puzzle and realized where the assembled section actually fit, it became a lot easier. The second puzzle on this list is a 500-piece puzzle by Spielspaß, and the title of this one is Howling Cub. So earlier when I said that a 500-piece puzzle cannot be a difficult puzzle, well, this puzzle proved me wrong. But to be fair, I have no idea what this brand is. I don't know what the quality is supposed to be, but based on the fact that I put it together, I cannot say that the quality is good. Like the bottom section was fine, you know, because you've got a picture to follow. When I came to the sky, I realized, like, once I finished the puzzle, I realized that I didn't actually finish the puzzle because the fit, it just didn't go together. It almost felt like doing the, what was it, the cheetah family one, when I intentionally assembled it the wrong way. So that's how it felt. Like, I was like, oh my god, I finally finished the puzzle after struggling for so long to put the sky together. And then I was like, it just feels a bit stiff. And then I put the puzzle up and put it against the light, and I was just like, oh, it actually doesn't fit. And I said, you know what, if it's for me, I'm done with it. So it took so much, like, I think it took me about like an hour and a half or 2 hours to just finish the top section. Yeah, that's why I was just like, I'm done. Because when you don't know if it actually fits together, that's the worst. Like, there's not really much you can do about it. The next puzzle on the list is a 750-piece puzzle by Gallison, and the title of this one is Flora Heart. So yeah, that's the puzzle that got me 4th place in the battle of the YouTube puzzlers, but oh my god, that puzzle drove me insane. Like, I honestly don't think if I did it in my own time that I would finish it that fast, but I think the nerves and like the camera going beep, beep, beep definitely made it like a lot quicker, but the puzzle was, yeah, it was quite difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I think the gloss of the pieces as well. So I was really lucky that I had a really bright day outside, because I think that made all the difference. Because one thing I've noticed with other people that did the puzzle as well is like, most of them had problems with like the lights reflecting off the pieces, because it's really difficult to see what's on the puzzle, like the shades, and you needed to see the shades for this puzzle to be able to finish it. So I'm gonna say that I was definitely lucky with this puzzle, because for some reason it was the brightest day. I was so stressed out about doing this particular puzzle that I completely forgot to put the shades down, and I think that literally saved me. Up next is a 750-piece puzzle by Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, and the title of this one is The Circus Lover. This puzzle was definitely an amazing find in a charity shop. I have no idea how it even came to Slovenia, but oh my, when I started to put this puzzle together, that was next level, you know. So all of the pieces were either whimsy pieces or completely random cut pieces, so there was no way for me to do shape sorting at any point. I had no idea what puzzle comes next, so it definitely tested my patience, and I don't think I would ever want to do this puzzle again, honestly. I'm just holding on to it because I want to give it to someone that's actually going to appreciate it, because I think it is a vintage puzzle, because I don't want to give it to like a random person just to get another puzzle out of it. The next puzzle on the list is a 1008-piece puzzle by Prime 3D, and the title of this one is Northern Gannet, Scotland. So what was the worst part about this puzzle was basically that I saw the picture at the front and I was like, oh, this looks quite cool. And I didn't realize it's a panoramic puzzle. So it was literally like, I saw the center of the picture, and obviously there was a lot of bright areas because it was a sunset. And then the full picture has a lot of dark and a lot of dark. And I was just like, what have I done? Sort of enjoyable to put together, but still at the end of the day I would say a really difficult puzzle, and I had to wait because it's got a bit of a gloss finish. I had to literally wait for sunny days to be able to finish it, and that's, I think, definitely like one downside for me with puzzles with gloss finish, because I like to puzzle in the evening, like when I have the TV on and just puzzle in my lap, basically, don't judge. So yeah, when you have the lights on and you have glossy pieces, it just doesn't go together, you know. So for people who cannot puzzle during the day, the glossy puzzles definitely, you know, don't work. The next puzzle on the list is a 1000-piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and I just call it the Puzzle Challenge. So this puzzle nearly ruined me, because obviously it doesn't come with the picture because it's supposed to be a puzzle challenge. So the point of this puzzle is basically, if you manage to finish the puzzle in under 3 hours, then you can enter the competition to win a trip to Germany. And obviously it's an old puzzle, so I couldn't enter the competition, but I wouldn't be able to enter it anyway because I was way too slow. But the fact they said if you can finish a puzzle in 3 hours, I was like, okay, 3 hours for a 1,000-piece puzzle, not bad. I know you don't get a picture, but even if I had the picture, it would still be a really difficult puzzle because there was just so much green. But okay, let's just leave the green, the roses. It's just the roses. There was like minutes passed before I managed to find like one piece to put in. And I was just like staring at it, and for some reason I did it as a speed puzzling as well because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it in 3 hours, I'm gonna speed puzzle it. I'm just like, no, it took me 6 hours. Well, actually my timer died at 5 hours and then it took me about one hour longer, so around 6 hours. Oh my god. So I'm having a little bit of a break from 500-piece puzzles because now I need to focus on 500-piece puzzles. So join me next week when I'm gonna be doing all 500-piece puzzles from my collection, and I really hope that I can do them. There's one a day. So yeah, I think I should have that much time as long as they don't take too long. Like if some of them are gonna take more than 2 hours to finish, I'm gonna throw them in the bin. No, just kidding. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope to see you next time. Bye!